Good fellow travelers, Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're in the Navili district of Milan. And today we're going to talk about our ways that tourists might upset the locals when they come here to Milan. Because anywhere you go in the world where there's lots of tourists, there's certain things tourists might do that might upset the locals. So we want you to be better prepared so you can make some friends here in Milan and not some enemies, okay? And I think the first thing I got to tell you about is when you're looking at the Milanese, you have to make a distinction between the Milanese imbrutito and the Milanese Giorgiana, okay? So basically you're looking at the people that are born and bred in Milan versus the people that have come to Milan. Maybe they came for work or they came to school to study, you know. Bocconi's here, which is a fantastic university. And so there is definitely a different vibe between the two types of people, and it would usually be the Milanese imbrutito that might be a bit more perturbed at the tourist than the people that moved here. So I just want to put that one out of the way in the first place, okay? But if we're looking at it, the imbrutito or anybody that's here, probably something that annoys them is anytime you're going slow or you're walking slow or you're stopping to take your pictures in the middle of the walkway. These kind of things in any big city annoy people, and Milan is no different. So if you're going to be walking down the sidewalks, in some places they're very thin, step to the side to take your picture. Don't just stop right in the middle, because that annoys people anywhere you go, okay? Another thing I think is important to mention is it doesn't matter what side of the imbrutito fence you fall on. One thing that annoys the locals with tourists that come here are all the tourist things that go along with it, you know? I mean, people say, oh, they don't like the tourists because they're tourists. No, I don't think it's that. Because a lot of the Milanese are actually very friendly to tourists. I think what they might not like about the tourists when they say that is all of the trappings that come with being such a tourist mecca that Milan is, because with the fashion and the Duomo and Leonardo da Vinci's Last Supper, is you get the pickpockets, you get the bracelet people that try to put things on you, you get the, hey, where are you from, what's your name people more often, and therefore it makes more crime, more pickpocketing, things like that, and that kind of annoys the local in a city like this, because Milan traditionally is not really a tourist city. Like, this isn't going to be a see your Roman ruins kind of vacation when you think of Italy. This is more eating, drinking, making merry, finding a job destination in Italy. So coming to a place where it's more of an industrial city, you get kind of like turned off by dealing with all the tourist trappy kind of stuff that can happen because of all the tourists here, and that kind of upsets them. But of course there are other things, like if you're going on the metro or you're in the main station and you're standing on the left or standing in the middle of the elevator, that's going to really upset people. So make sure you're always standing on the right, because people will literally, during rush hour times, people will literally run you over or yell at you to get out of the way, because look, they're in a hurry. This isn't like sit back and relax, you know, we're having a few drinks in Bari kind of Italy. No, this is Milan. This is a go, go, go kind of place. So anything that slows them down, whether it's walking slowly or blocking the escalator, is gonna kind of upset the locals, just so you know. Now, another thing that tourists do that upsets the local is when they don't quite get the traffic culture here in Milan. And when I say that, it's not just they don't know how to drive around Milan or ride the moped around Milan or whatever. It's more they don't know how to cross the street right. They don't know when to go. And so it's really important that you're watching, not just for cars, but also for trams, for buses, for mopeds, for bikes. You have all that there, because I can't tell you how many tourists I saw just blindly walk out on the street because no cars were coming, but they almost got taken out by a moped. Okay, so you want to be careful with that, because that's where you might get a honk or a quick whistle at you when you are here from a local. Now, another thing that might upset a local when you do come here is if you only do the Duomo, La Scala, and the Galleria, like trifecta when you're here, and maybe you see the Last Supper, and then you say, I saw Milan. Well, the thing is, Milan is so much more than that, just like 3 or 4 block square area to see the Duomo, the Galleria, and La Scala. You have to see them all, of course, but this city has so many museums, so many churches, so many different districts that you're not really experiencing, you know, Milan if you're only doing those tourist sites. And that kind of upsets the locals, because they have a lot of pride in their city. They're like, no, come to the Navili district and go out there drinking with your friends here. Or we have all kinds of other great places around the city that you can see, from museums to cemeteries to churches, that it's not just Duomo and spin your foot on the bull's balls in the Galleria. There's more to it than that, and the people are really proud, so it kind of hurts their feelings or insults their pride when you only see that. So make sure you go out and explore more when you are here in Milan. And kind of going along with that is when tourists complain that they're not having what they thought would be a truly Italian vacation, when they meant they wanted a historic Roman vacation. Look, Roman vacation means Rome, the Romans, okay? Milan is an industrial city. You do not have the ruins like you have in other parts of the country. So you need to make sure you temper that expectation and realize you're going to an industrial city, and that's what the real tourism is about here, with some actually really great museums and churches, yes, but you're not going to have that historic, you know, Roman vacation things. And that's one thing the locals don't like, is like, look, we pay enough to Rome. We don't need you to compare us to Rome, because that's a whole different ballgame when you're here. And you can kind of feel some of the resentment that Milan has for Rome when you do that. So that's kind of a good thing not to kind of talk about or compare when you are here. I mean, just think about it. You know, when people think of the best, you know, stadium in Italy, they don't think of San Siro, they think the Colosseum. And the Colosseum hasn't hosted anything in a couple thousand years, right? So, you know, just realize there's a little bit of bone of contention there. And then I think another thing that might annoy the locals when you are here is if you complain about the prices. Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. Coming to Milan, staying in Milan, staying at the hotels here, in the accommodation, going out to eat. I mean, this is probably the most expensive place to go and visit in Italy. And the thing is, it's not just really expensive for you, it's really expensive for the locals as well. So if you sit there and complain about how expensive Milan is, it doesn't make the locals feel any better, because it's really expensive for them too. So that causes a little bit of resentment. I mean, it can give you something to talk about with them, but it's something they're like, yeah, we already know it's expensive. We have to live with this, okay? So that's why it could be something that could be a little bit of a touchy subject. I mean, not all the time, but just something that you might want to know about. And all of these things, you know, people might not say anything to you, but I just think it's a good idea to have an idea about what are some of the things that tourists do in different cities and different countries that kind of upset the locals, so then you don't do that and you have a better chance to know the culture better and to make friends with the locals around here. Because honestly, whether you're here in Milan or Vicenza or Rome, the Italians are fantastic. They want to show you their cities, their country, their food. So go out there and enjoy it and make friends while you're here. Ciao from Milan.